W. Let me say it a little bit louder. W from the Washington Commanders. We are 6-5. Washington Commanders, we started off the season 1-4, have made a comeback. And now we're 6-5. We just beat the Houston Texans 23-10 out there in Houston, Texas. It was very much if you were a non-Commanders fan, a non-Houston fan, that seemed like a sleeper because the fans weren't really in it out there in Houston. And can you blame them? They're 1-8-1 right now. Mm-hmm. But the Commanders defense led the way in this one. 5 sacks, as Evan and I were talking about before the stream. Taylor Heinicke didn't need to do too much. This was a typical Alex Smith type of game managing Washington game from Heinicke. No mistakes. There was one almost pick that he had in the game. There's also one almost touchdown that he had to Logan Thomas, but again, he sailed it high. But at the end of the day, our run game did some good things. Antonio Gibson did some good things on the ground. Brian Robinson as well was carrying the Houston Texans on that last drive down the field. Gibson could have scored a touchdown on that last drive, but smartly decided to slide and allow some time to run off from the game. And yeah, I mean, it was a great game. Kendall Fuller had a pick 6. In terms of the 5 sacks, Jonathan Allen, that's I've been saying the best player on this team. John Allen had 2 sacks. Montez Sweat had 2 sacks, right? And Montez Sweat, we've been wanting to see more out of him in terms of the sack department, although he's been a great pass rusher in terms of the pressures that he's forced, the times that he's collapsed the pocket, but he's just never been able to get home too much this season. But he had 2 sacks himself today. Deron Payne also had a sack. And again, Kendall Fuller with the pick 6. So it was a great game. Derek Forrest with that crazy interception as well, that diving interception off of the Benjamin St. Juste tip of the ball. Yeah, it was a good one. 23-10 win against the Houston Texans. I'm excited about it. Evan, what are your thoughts on this game?
Honestly, this feels good because, like, the reason why this feels good to me is because we did what we were supposed to do today. This was a Texans team on paper that was clearly inferior, and we set the tone. Like, we came out in the first quarter, we set the tone, and we just did not let up for the whole game. I mean, the defense had 5 sacks. Houston could get nothing going aside from that one big play by Brandon Cooks. They scored 10 points, but in reality, I'm only going to credit them for 3 because that last touchdown was kind of garbage time. But to see that the team came out after a big win and just didn't let it get to their heads, they kept their heads down. And from the way that at least the defense played today, you would have thought they lost to Philly. You would have thought they lost to Philly, maybe even got blown out. Because actually, you would have probably thought the game just didn't happen. You would have thought the Philly game just didn't happen by the way these guys came out and hustled, bro. Ron got him. Like, we gave Ron a lot of flack when he was 1-4, but we got to give him his credit for the last 2 games. He's had this team ready to play, and it showed, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Naughty, you said when are we going to be 500 with Taylor Heinicke, over 500 with Taylor Heinicke. Now, officially, I got to savor the moment, but a great win. Honestly, thought like it was going to take to the fourth quarter for us to separate the margin, but early just punched him right in the mouth. Just got to love to see it. Brian Robbins, Antonio Gibson. It was the game plan. That Pedro video, live stream with Pedro and the preview video. All I said was pound the ball with Antonio Gibson, limit mistakes, win the turnover battle. It's an easy win. That's the recipe here in Washington.
Yeah, man. Again, a great win from the Washington Commanders today. Heinicke, again, didn't need to do too much. The offense itself didn't need to do too much. I don't think anybody on our offense really went off today. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you got Gibson with 72 yards on the ground, probably had the best game. Terry McLaurin only had 4 catches for 55 yards. I will say this, the thumbnail for today has Logan Thomas on it. We saw Logan Thomas today out there on the field actually be productive. Yes, 5 catches. Yep, 5 catches for 65 yards. And yeah, he was dragging people down the field. He was getting open. Again, he could have had that touchdown. That would have been nice to get that touchdown in the end zone. Heinicke did sail it a little bit, but yeah, a great game from Logan Thomas as well. So yeah, offense, I'm looking at the stats right now as well. Like on top of what we saw out there on the field, they didn't do too much. Curtis Samuel had that rushing touchdown on the ground, but it really was, once again, the defense that carried the way. I mean, even on the Texans, like their offense obviously only scored 10 points. Brandon Cooks had a couple of nice catches down the field, but our defense, again, held their own, and it was a great performance. Another player that needs a shout-out, 2 straight weeks from Joey Sly. Last week, it was a couple of 50-plus yarders. This week, it was, what, three field goals today?
Yep.
Yes.
9 points. Yep. 9 points. I mean, that definitely helped seal the deal in this one, on top of the Kendall Fuller pick 6 that counted as a touchdown, and then the Curtis Samuel rushing score as well. Is there anything else? Oh, I do want to say this. Couple key conversions once again from B-Rob. A 3rd down conversion and a 4th down conversion. The team has relied on him in those situations. He has definitely done the team right in terms of converting on those situations. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everyone help.
He should have came in on the last drive.
That's what I'm saying.
Last drive should have been Sam, man.
What's up, people?
It should have been Sam.
Patrick.
Stephen Doe. Yeah, I'm surprised. Logan Thomas. He hasn't really shown much the last couple of weeks, but this week he showed some things. Shout out to him. Got to meet him during the press run for the draft party, and as well as OTAs as well. He's a great guy. Shout out to him. He did some good things out there on the field. Could not watch the game. So here to hear our victory discussion. Yes, Payne and Allen, must-see TV. Yes. Payne is earning himself a contract extension here in DC after this season, given the way he's played over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. We could have this discussion right now, but Payne, Sweat, are we going to be able? Should we keep both? If we're going to choose between the guys, I'm choosing Payne, but I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that.
Now, I did see a tweet from JP Finley during the game that really caught my eye. Carson Wentz, once we let him go, that's $26 million off the books, right? And he said a contract extension for Payne would be in the ballpark of 20. So if my math is correct, we could give him the $20 million contract and still have $6 million left over. So I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's crazy because the whole incident last year with him and Jonathan Allen going at it during the Cowboys game, people were like, yeah, let's get rid of Daron Payne. But he's really redeemed himself. Coming the offseason, everyone was saying he's going to get traded. He's on the sideline. He's not practicing with the team. Just batting balls, getting to the quarterback, leading the NFC and defensive tackles for losses. It's amazing. And Montez, it does take a long time to come in when it comes to the season. But right now, I'm keeping Daron Payne.
Yeah, I'm keeping Daron Payne too. Payne has shown, he's always shown spurts of greatness over the last couple of years, but this year I feel like he's been a lot more consistent. He's hungry. Although, I hope this is not just a contract year situation where he decides to, really step it up this year because he's up for, new contract after the season. And then we see him go back to, having those great spurts, but also being inconsistent at times. I hope this is not one of those kind of situations with Daron Payne. I don't think it is. But I definitely would go with Daron Payne over Montez Sweat. I know Sweat had 2 sacks today. Payne only had 1. But Payne, I don't know. It's just something about him. He just forces consistent pressures. That tandem with Jonathan Allen is amazing. And, yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to them for sure. Jonathan Allen has 6.5 sacks on the season right now, just off the top of my head. I think yesterday I checked that he had 4.5. So if you add 2, it's 6.5. Yeah, man, he's a stud. And go ahead, Bill.
I want to talk about Dameon Pierce. This guy, I think, how many rushing yards? Less than 10 rushing yards. Amazing, phenomenal.
He's a good running back.
I know. As one of the young
8 rushing yards on 10 carries.
That is insane. Hats off his defensive line. Jack Del Rio, I know we keep saying it, but we got to give credit where credit is due. We went at this man for going at Jamin Davis earlier on in the year. The comments about the Capitol and what happened there. He has stepped it up. And with Chase Young coming back soon, you just don't know how crazy defense
is. He coming back soon?
I don't know.
Well, he could be active. Well, the deadline to activate him is Wednesday, and if we do activate him,
Roll Tide.
Maybe he gets another shot against the Falcons, who the last time we saw them, the refs took a sack away from him, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he gets that sack this time against Mariota.
I mean, the moment of truth is this week, Roger. The moment of truth is this week. It's either this week he's back or he's out for the rest of the season.
The absolute deadline is Wednesday. Like, if he's not activated by Wednesday, he's done for the year.
I don't know. I just haven't heard much progress in terms of how he's out there on the practice field. And stuff.
The whole what happened at Von Miller's camp, I really think that's what really affected it. They're hiding something for sure.
But with that being said, guys, as I mentioned to the fellas before the live stream, I will be out right now. Appreciate you guys, your support on the channel and stuff. Abdullah and Evan got it the rest of the way. I hope, Abdullah, you can end the broadcast with me leaving. I hope that's a possibility. I don't know if that option is there on StreamYard. But thank you guys so much. Stay on for the rest, and hopefully we can continue this win streak against the Falcons on Sunday.
Well, Evan, now that Naughty's gone, I think we got to talk about the man, Terry McLaurin. What was your thoughts on his performance today? It was very quiet, but I'm happy it was early on rather than later in the game.
Well, I mean, yeah, Terry didn't really do too much. The offense as a whole was kind of like they took a lot of time off the clock, sure, but wasn't really too many points being scored. But Terry did his thing. Terry did what was asked of him today. So let's see. His stats were 4 catches, 55 yards. Yeah, he did what was asked of him, man. Like really wasn't too much more to say beyond that. But it was just another grind. Time of possession. Washington wins again by almost 10 minutes. 34-56 was our time of possession. Houston just over 25 minutes on theirs. So that's what this offense does. Like they run clock.
I think Hawk's talking about Chase Young here. I mean, I'm tired of talking about this every week. Like, if he's back and he's 100%, put him back in. But if not, there's no point of rushing him. I just want to put like the end of this discussion in the bed. But going back to the wide receiver core, Jahan Dotson had some, it was good to see him out there. Had some nice catches. Would it be nice to – because it's just crazy how Christian Watson out of nowhere decides to score touchdowns. Now Jahan's not leading in rookie touchdowns. But Curtis, the end around, I feel like Scott Turner has to have at least 2 to 3 end around Curtis Samuel plays every game. I don't know what your thoughts on that.
And the beautiful thing about that end around, you could run it at any point in the game. You could run it at any point in the game. And if you do it right, the opposing team will never see it coming.
I agree, especially like go ahead.
Like either you run smash mouth football with Brian Robinson or Antonio Gibson for the home run. You do a lot of short passes, get the tight ends involved. John Bates, you got Logan Thomas, or you can have like the receivers involved. You can have Curtis as a receiver, Terry, Dotson, and even a little bit of throws to Cam Sims. You could do that. And then out of nowhere, right when the opposing team maybe gets a stop for like a yard or 2 gain, and they think they have you figured out, end around to Samuel, and we're right back in business. So like you could, there's so many ways you could do that, man.
I agree,
and it would catch them off guard every time.
That's what's good when you have a versatile wide receiving core. Something that we haven't had in a long time, but now we have it, so you got to take advantage of it. I wanted to ask your thoughts on the offensive line today. I mean, another bad snap by Larson, but how would you grade the overall performance?
Overall, I'd grade the offensive line a B+ because they were able to keep Taylor on his feet, and really that's all you can ask out of an offensive line. Because I'm looking at the stats today: 0 sacks. That's the calling card of a good offensive line. I'm still saying we need to spend our first round pick on an O-lineman, but the offensive line did a pretty good job today.
I agree. I just hope that they can keep this up, especially when we play, Dallas and New York down the stretch of the season. And I'm just saying, like, it makes also a big difference that Taylor is more mobile. And I wanted to ask your thoughts on this whole thing about Ron finally announced that Taylor is a starter. Like, are we done? Do you think Carson Wentz is even a slim chance of a possibility coming back?
Well, the only reason I'm not going to say no is because I did notice Taylor with a little bit of a limp in the fourth quarter. So we'll have to monitor that, like, because we know how limps are. We know how it is in the NFL, quarterbacks walking with a limp. Maybe it's a big thing and Taylor turns out he can't go on Sunday against the Falcons, or maybe it's nothing and he comes back out on Sunday and no problems. So until I have more clarity on that limp, I'm going to say no, the conversation's not over, but it's leaning that way.
Yeah, I agree with Roger Smith here. Carson does play if Taylor is hurt. The guy said it earlier in the stream. I forgot who said it, but I wanted to see Sam Howell out there on that last drive, even if it was for like a little bit of time. I don't know.
I did too.
Yeah, like I just thought that, especially since I think Taylor was limping, so I was like, they got to pull him out, but guess not.
I would have put Sam in even if Taylor wasn't limping, because at that point, especially like after the onside kick, it's like you're up still by 2 scores with like 4 minutes to go. The game is pretty much out of reach right now. So why not throw the rookie in there and see what he's got?
All right, Evan, you can take it away from here. What are your thoughts?
I'm assuming this means in case Taylor gets hurt, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
This has to mean in case Taylor gets hurt, because over a healthy Taylor Heineke right now, and ever since Heineke's come in to start, we're 4-1? 4-1 since Taylor Heineke has come in to start. Before that, we were 2-4. That's a no for me, dog. This is the point of the season where, like, once you figure out what works, you stick with it. You stick with it till it don't work no more. Then you go try something else. And what we doing with Taylor is working. Otherwise, we wouldn't be 4-1 in his 5 starts this year. And the one loss was really a game we could have won.
Yep.
Against the Vikings team that is disappointingly down 10-3 to the Cowboys.
Right? Oh man, but yeah, I mean, if the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's well here in quarterback land in Washington. I want to talk about this defense. Okay, we got to talk about John Ridgeway. This man plays like he listens to NBA YoungBoy before every game. Done powerbomb. Damian Pierce could have took his head off. What was your whole thoughts on that?
Man, I was expecting a WWE speech from Ridgeway right there.
Yeah, I just like
you claim this is your house. But let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah,
91 don't give a damn. I mean, I was expecting that from him.
I mean, I love John. I mean, he caused that fumble last week on Dallas Goedert, but I guess sometimes you gotta be disciplined. And what happened when the whole Minnesota, like going over the center, I guess he just has to learn from that. But that was crazy.
Ridgeway kind of redeemed himself from that, bro.
Yeah.
Ridgeway, if he didn't redeem himself in Philly, he redeemed himself with that tackle on Pierce.
I agree. Man, going back to this defensive line,
I'm gonna slam you from the top rope.
You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Going back to this defensive line, James Smith-Williams, F.A. Obata. I mean, everyone was eating. I want to talk about the linebacking core with John Bostic and Jamin Davis. What are your thoughts on how they did today?
Well, Jamin just gets better each and every week, man. Jamin just gets better each and every week. And exactly. and while I still feel like our other linebacker is going to come from somewhere outside of the current roster right now, I like our future in terms of Jamin Davis.
I agree.
And you know, the true hallmark of how good of a pick Jamin Davis is, you'll notice we haven't seen not one clip of anybody in the 2021 quarterback class on Twitter under the caption, but we picked Jamin Davis instead of them. We have not seen nobody say that. That's how you know Jamin's a good thing.
Exactly. And when Cole Holcomb comes back, it just add more strength. It would be nice. I think, and also they gave Jamin the green dot, so it's just great to see that. I mean, so many people are writing him off as a rookie last year. I just gotta give him some time. And now we talk about the secondary. Derek Forrest. We talked about him earlier in the stream, but man, oh man, what an interception! The tip ball by Ben St. Juste. Hopefully, I saw him. I think he was hurt, but hopefully he's fine.
I think Ben St. Juste is gonna be all right.
He'll be all right. This secondary is just This secondary is just young, and you just gotta love to see it. What are your thoughts on the secondary?
The scariest thing about the secondary is the only person in that secondary who I feel like is at his full 100% prime. This is the best he's ever gonna be. Is Kendall Fuller. Everybody else I feel like is as good as they are now. They're going to be better because Benjamin St. Juste, this is his second year in the league. Cam Curl, this is his third. It's his third. And Forrest is a young guy too. This squad is only going to get better.
I agree. And
even Danny Johnson made a couple good plays at the end of the game too.
True. I guess we got to talk about this. I don't know if I know Naughty's not, but are you a fan of the John Boston Club.
Like I said, as far as our future linebackers, Jamin Davis is one of them. The other is going to come from a place that's not on this roster. So, John, I love what you've done for the program. I love what you've done for us, but yeah, it might be about that time.
Oh, Roger Smith, the interesting comment. You said O-line, man. What do you think about cornerback going first round?
I'd take a cornerback day two. I would take a cornerback day two, and the first round is O-lineman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I think they went back to the whole Chase Young thing. Talking about this game, I mean, kind of done with this Houston game. Atlanta won today. I'm pretty sure they beat Chicago.
They beat Chicago 27-24.
So I think this. You said it too, but Hawk said it. Be a perfect opponent for Chase to come back. How do you see this game playing out going into this week?
Now, the Falcons, they're a beatable team.
Mm-hmm.
They are a beatable team. They are also a team that could beat us if we're not careful. So Ron's done a good job of getting the team focused, getting them ready to play the last 2 weeks. He just got to do that again. He just has to do that again for one more week. Because if we come out there ready to play like we were in Philly and like we were today, we're going to beat the Falcons. All it is to it. We just got to be ready.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, the game plan and being ready. I going into this game, I thought it would be such a Washington thing to do. We've done it for so long, the past 20 years, where big Monday Night Football went against a division rival at their place, and we lay an egg against like one of the worst teams in the NFL. But seems like the culture is changing here a bit. I love to see it. I wanted to talk about Scott Turner. Do you think he's gotten better through the end of like the past couple of weeks? Because we gave him a lot of shade in that 2-4 start.
Scott Turner called his butt off in the Philly game, and in this, I don't think his play calling today was quite as good. But then again, you got to give credit to that Houston defense, because the Texans, their record may not indicate it, but they have a pretty good defense. Because you look at the final scores of all their games, and although they did lose most of those games, and you see a bunch of like 20-17, 23-20, a lot of low-scoring games. We knew Houston had a good defense, and Scott was still able to maintain the ball most of the game and was able to move the ball at least in chunks. So he did what he had to do today. I'll say it like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I just think that like if we have those weapons, we're not utilizing them right. You gotta criticize him when it's due, but when he's doing it right and we're winning, you gotta give credit where credit is due.
Credit where it's due. Criticism when warranted. That's how it should be, man.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Jack Del Rio, I think we talked about him too, but I mean, like, he's got to stay in DC after this year. Am I right?
He absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely does. And just think, we did not think we'd be saying that in August. We did not think we'd be saying that in September, and now we're saying it the week before Thanksgiving. Funny how fast things change, man.
Yeah, especially here in Washington. Oh, here we go with
his Big 12 finesse garbage. You know why this comment makes me mad? Because he's right. Because he's right.
I mean, Big 12?
You know how they are in the Big 12. You know how they get in the Big 12. It's all like 50, 60 points every week, and they don't care about defense. You know how it is in the Big 12. Like, when's the last time you seen a linebacker come out of Oklahoma and be successful? When's the last time you seen a D lineman come out of Texas and be successful? When's the last time you seen a cornerback come out of Baylor and be successful in the league?
Yeah,
you got to think about it, don't you?
Yeah, really.
You got to think about it.
Maybe you got a point.
They do not play no type of defense in the Big 12.
That is very much true. But going back to this game, I think and anything else we're missing, I mean, just an overall great team win. Ron Rivera, I mean, they talked about it during that. This is one thing that, like, again, I just didn't think about more when I ranted about Ron early in the year. The stuff that this organization has thrown on this man for, like, just being here, starting off as the first head coach, name changed twice, dealing with cancer. Your mom passes away. Like, it's just so many things happening. Coach Rivera, do you think if we hypothetically, let's say we miss the playoffs, is he gone? If we make the playoffs and win a game, is he here for the future?
If we miss the playoffs, he's most definitely gone.
You think so?
If we miss the playoffs, he's gone. If we make the playoffs and win a game, he's definitely back. But now, The gray area is if we make the playoffs and lose that first week. Then it's really a coin flip. Because if you remember his first year, we made the playoffs and we lost to Tampa that first round. So it's really a coin flip there. But I think there is one more thing we could touch on in this game. And it's that I feel like this defense, like this week, the defense is going to practice like they lost this game. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it like that. Like with the clips we're gonna see and the talk we're gonna hear from reporters about how the defense is practicing, you're gonna think we lost this game. And you know why I'm saying that? Because we didn't get the shutout. And I guarantee you, at least half that defense feels like we could have got that shutout. Like, ask Jonathan Allen about it. He'll probably say we should have shut him out. Deron Payne, too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of fans out there thought we should have had scored 30 points and they shouldn't have scored at all. But again, with this team, just every win, like, although it's not a crazy blowout, it is somewhat still a close game and they have you watching it. But it was good to have a Sunday, where we're just not biting our nails till the clock hits 0. But
where the team is not committing stupid mistakes and stressing it, like, and leaving the door open, letting the other team come back, and we could just enjoy our game. We could just enjoy the game, and now we can enjoy our Thanksgiving.
I agree, especially since Dallas and New York are playing. That's going to be an interesting game too to watch.
Oh yeah, Giants lost too. By the way.
Yeah, the Giants lost to the Lions.
Not so funny now, is it, New York
That's
fans?
what I'm saying. I was waiting for them to.
It ain't funny. Like, losing to the Lions ain't funny no more.
That's what I'm saying. I wanted them to show that they're frauds.
Y'all
and
ain't laughing no more, huh?
Definitely should. But I want to talk about the rest of the schedule. We have Atlanta. Then we have New York, a bye. New York, San Francisco, Cleveland, Dallas, and New York. I say New York again. How do you think the season looks out after this?
Okay, so the way I see it is, when we were going into the first Eagles game, we was thinking, no way the Commanders win this game. For the second, ahead of the second Philly game, we were thinking, no way the Commanders win this game. Even before the season, back when we lost to, early in the season, back when we lost to Detroit, we were looking at the Colts and thinking, no way the Commanders win that game. And the Titans game too. You can really say the Titans game too. There is not a single game left on this schedule where you look at that game and think there's no way the Commanders win. Every single game is winnable. Every single game is winnable. And really, we control our own destiny to an extent now. If the Niners lose tomorrow, we control our own destiny. And yeah, let's go get this playoff spot, man. Let's get in these playoffs.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I mean, I remember a good amount of us were talking about tanking, but you see the potential on this team. I mean, the sky's the limit. And last question, is Chase Young coming back this year?
I say yes. I'm going to go on the record and say he comes back.
I think so as well. I think it's about down. The Lions are the better team than us. You win some, you lose some. But hey, I'm ready to take all the smoke and the trolls. respect Blue City Empire Sports. But I think that's pretty much it, Evan. Great overall Sunday. Commanders win 23-10. Can't complain much. You got to love it. I mean, if Dallas loses, the cherry on top. New York already lost. Philly somehow came back. I don't know how that happened. I thought they were going to collapse.
The Colts, bro.
Yeah, the Colts, man.
They don't have a coach.
That's what I'm saying, man. Jeff Saturday.
Oh, I think the Cowboys just fumbled.
Okay, here we go. We got to go to that game. But with that being said, guys, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more DMV Sports content. I try to push out as much fire content out there as possible. Follow us on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at DMVSportsZone. With that being said, there's only one thing to say, Evan. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. We're out.